Yeah, why is it that all these brokering companies want us to take a book of business with us, and then when we bring it, they want to keep it?
Very good question. I was going to actually address that. I mean, pretty much as a broker agent, you want to develop a book of business, and the time and energy you put into it, you want to be able to take that with you, yours. But a brokerage company, on the other hand, they don't want to have to, they don't want to, in some cases, train you, give you support, pay for your access to load boards, give you access to fancy and sometimes expensive logistics software, give you access to their shippers. Sometimes they'll have shipper accounts that they let you work. Sometimes they will let you interact with carrier accounts they already have. And then after, 3 months, 6 months, even a year or longer, you've developed relationships, they've supported you, and then you're going to leave and take all that business with you. So it's kind of a fine line. If you own a brokerage company, you same thing. You're trying to build your business. Agents come and go, independent contractors. You can't make someone stay working for you, but you're putting there's a lot of money, a lot of time, effort that goes into building a brokerage business, and technically, and depending on the broker agent agreement, many brokerage firms consider that their customers. You're just temporarily servicing them. So there's a fine line. The way we did it is, if it was our account and we give you access to it occasionally to work it, it's still our account, and we're going to sue you if you attempt, and you can't take it with you. If you had it when you brought it with us, then it's your account, and if you ever leave, you take your account with you as well. And I think we were, pretty flexible on, well, what if it wasn't an account that existed at all? Really, the difficult one is we didn't have it when you got there. You didn't have it when you got there. You developed it while you were there, and you've got to kind of think that through. And one of the things is, and we talk about this in the Freight Broker Business Success Program, is what's your philosophy? What's your plan? What kind of agents are you recruiting and developing? If you're recruiting experienced agents, they're likely not, they're going to look for the most most agent friendly agreement as possible. They're going to want an agreement that says anything unless it's ours when you get here and you develop it, you can take it with you. Anything you had with you and you bring and you leave, you take it with you. And you might need that in order to attract an agent that already has a book of business, already has experience, already has volume. And you say, hey, you just come on board. Your business is your business. Anything you create while you're here is your business if you ever decide to leave. And the benefit is, as soon as they step in the door and start making phone calls for you and sending emails for you, you've got volume because they're experienced. They already have established customers. Now, if you're not going that way, or you don't want to pay someone 65, 70, 75% commission, or you don't want to give those away, and you're recruiting brand new agents, no experience, that's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy, a lot of resources. And if I'm a broker, then I may want to say, hey, I'm spending time, I'm spending money, I'm sending resources to train you, support you, give you access to our customers. You can leave anytime you want, but anything that gets developed while you're here stays here with us.
I understand that.
Yeah.
So if I bring in, if I'm an agent for someone and I'm using their book of business to cultivate relationships, of course, I'm not going to take their book of business with me or their contacts with me. But if I cultivate my own and it's beneficial to both of us while I'm with that broker, and then I leave, what do I do with the broker at that point to keep my business that I cultivated?
Well, again, there's two things. You have to think about that ahead of time. Not everyone does. So we recommend, okay, the agreement you sign when you start is important. It has to say that you can, that you're not, that it's not against the legal agreement to take your prospects with you. It's kind of, and then the second thing is, then you have to have a good enough relationship with those customers that they're going to follow you wherever you go. Because you're going to have to get them set up in some cases with a new brokerage firm. You know, there, it's not, they just don't come with you. Then they got to, there's new paperwork that has to be done, new processes and procedures that have to be done, you know, different things. So twofold. Number one, what's the agreement you sign when you start? Think ahead. And number two, you got to develop a strong enough relationship that those customers feel like they're your customers as a freight agent, not the freight brokerage firm, and they're going to follow you personally wherever you go because they like the service that you give them.
So are there companies out there that will train on the job for broker agents?
There are, but not many, quite frankly. Most of, as you may have already seen, most of them say, you know, they want 1 or 2 years experience. They want you to have a book of business. Very difficult. That's why, you know, we try and work with and develop and anyone that goes through the Freight Brokers Academy course, you know, we offer, we're trying to always update it for freight brokerage firms that will hire inexperienced reps. Most freight brokerage firms don't want to deal with brand new agents because it's a difficult job. It's not easy to transition from something else to doing that. Most people, because they're working from home, it takes a lot of self-discipline and a lot of self-motivation. And most brokerage firms don't want to mess with someone who hasn't already been through that initial stage and survived at least that first year. If they're survived the first year, they figure, okay, they got enough self-discipline. They figured out how to survive, how to make enough money to pay the bills, and how to motivate and organize and discipline themselves every day to make a certain number of phone calls and do certain basic things. Even if you're not a top producer, you've figured out how to survive and manage yourself, and then they'll consider hiring you in most cases.